What's going on, guys? Garrett with Ras Group here, another video. So the Performance on Demand video series seems to be a big hit, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do one of my own guns. I have a bunch of my own guns I'm going to do, but specifically my carry gun. It is a Glock 17 Gen 3. We'll start and work our way from top down. It is a Brownell's FDE PVD coated slide that's gotten more than a little bit of wear. Cut for a RMR/SRO. I have an SRO 2.5 MOA dot up here. Ameriglow GL 429 backup iron sights. Got the S3F Solutions barrel, not for any particular reason. I just had an extra one at the time of building this gun. Inside, I do have a recoil rebound guide rod system for the G17 Gen 3. They're out of business actually, but very soft recoil impulse. It's like any other tunable guide rod that is out on the market. Then we got a Surefire X300. I beat the shit out of this. This is actually usually my training light. I need to get a turbo for this guy, but hey, it is what it is. Overwatch Precision Trigger, Kagworks or Prometia, whatever their name is. Slide release, Glock Extended OEM Gen 3 magazine release, and the frame was stippled by a buddy. That's pretty much it as far as a breakdown on this gun. Now I'm going to tell you that I choose to carry this gun for a few different reasons, right? Some of you may agree with it, some of you won't. So I like simplicity in a carry gun. I'm a big fan of Glock. As you guys know, I run the G45 predominantly, and this gun serves all those things for me. It's simple, it's consistent to the platform that I used to compete with, that I used to teach with, all the things. Another reason, it's relatively inexpensive to build. I bought the Glock frame stripped. Brownell slides are one of the best bargains out there. Shout out, use code BOP10 at Brownell's for free shipping. I think it is now, not 10% off. All these parts are kind of just secondhand used parts that I threw together to build this gun. So really, guys, the big thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm able to perform adequately with the gun that I carry every single day, right? I think all of you should do that. I'm not going to sit here and burn thousands and thousands of rounds through the gun that I trust my life with. I used to. Somebody brought that argument up to me a while ago, and I was like, damn, that's pretty smart. I don't run this gun very often, right? I think it's very much something that you do every 3, 4, 6 months. Ideally, closer to that 4 mark, I think would be good. And man, this thing's seen some life. So now we're going to go down to the range testing portion. You'll see a different Garrett there. Come back up here, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So episode 3. Performance on Demand. We're doing my carry gun, my Glock 17 Gen 3. You guys probably just came back down from the tabletop, so I'm not going to talk about it. First drill we're going to do, as you know, Ras Performance cold start. Billy drill standards. Alright guys, accelerator drill time. You know what it is. Accelerator, going back the other way. MXAD. Gateway string 1. Gateway string 2. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of a shooting montage. I want to get into the results that I have from my carry gun. So RAS cold start, we had a total of, let's see, 8 Charlies and a total time of 24:43. 15 yards is what cost me a lot on time, about 2 seconds or so, because it was 4.92 with a bad primer strike. Still came in at a 6.5 hit factor. I know it could be higher, however, that's what we had for that day. That's the real result, and it's still above my bare minimum of a 5.0 passing standard for my students. I really would like to hit a 10 at some point, but that's okay. Then we moved into the billy drill standards. We had a total time of 8:95 with 5 Charlies total. 5 Charlies total, that's on me. At the 7-yard bill drill, I presented low, and it split the A zone in the lower Charlie. 3 in the A zone, 3 in the Charlie. So that cost me. And then I had 1 Charlie each at 25 and 15. A Charlie at 25 I'm okay with. I kind of anticipate that, but 15 and 7, that's trash. So total time on that was 11:45, clear fail. But as far as the hit factor goes, we had an 893. Moving into the accelerator drill, we had respective hit factors, first of far to close, and then working back out. So starting at 25, 15, 7, reload, 7, 15, 25. We ran each of them twice, so I had a 639 hit factor the first time and a 703, I'm sorry, 639 the first time, 703 the second time. For close to far, we had a 691 and then a 671 hit factor. So pretty comparable across all, and it should be if you do the math and you look at like what it is that you're doing. It's all pretty comparable. I do think that getting shots off quicker is always going to aid in, you know, a faster time, because I'm coming in at 7 yards, I can draw fast, boom, boom, and I'm like literally working into the close target versus drawing right onto the far target. I'm sorry, working into the far target versus drawing right in on the far target and having to develop an acceptable confirmation level at 25 as opposed to 7, right? Just my theory on that. MXAD did it twice for a 1323 hit factor and a 1463 hit factor. Not mad at that. I'm actually pretty happy. Gateway Defense Standards 1, I had a 10.59 hit factor the first time, a 5.10 with 3 Charlies, garbage. Then I had a 4.78 with 2 Charlies for an 11.71. Then Gateway String 2, I had a 4.59 with 3 Charlies and it gave me an 11.76 hit factor. I believe both of those would have been passing A-class runs, which is pretty cool. The 5.0 drill, I ran it in a 23.66 with 5 Charlies. Gave me a 4.86 hit factor. Again, lost, I believe, about a second or so, second and a half with another light strike. I know that it's a problem with the ammo because it's not just happening in this gun. Otherwise, I'd be very concerned. That is SSV ammunition. It's very hit or miss. Sometimes you'll have a whole case run flawlessly. Sometimes you get a case and every, 25th, 30th round happens to be a light strike. Don't know why, but it's cheap and it's what I buy. Then I did the 3R6R3 at 15. It was 11.35, 9 Alpha, 2 Charlie. Gave me a 4.49 hit factor. Not really great. What are you going to do though, right? So it's one of those things. I did not do a B8 test because I've done a B8 with this gun several times, and I can usually run a clean B8, 10 yards, all within the 10 ring, in about 7.5-ish seconds with this gun, right? So that's the results of that. Now, how do I feel about it? I feel pretty good, right? Considering that I also ran all those drills from concealment, from appendix. I did not use an outside the waistband holster to run any of those. Maybe the draw is going to give you a factor of maybe a quarter to 3/10 of a second if you're bad, which I am not the best at appendix draw. So probably gave me an extra quarter to 3/10 of a second. That's not going to make or break you by any stretch of the imagination when you're doing an evaluation like this, but something to be noted. So, and for carry dedicated guns, it makes sense to do the review from concealment because you're carrying it, right? So, all in all, pretty happy with the results. I'm going to continue to use this gun as my carry gun. I do have a few upgrades I want to do to this. I think I'm going to replace the Overwatch trigger in here with an OEM trigger. Just personal preference type stuff. And then I'm going to have this re-stippled. My buddy did a fantastic job. However, it's getting real smooth, and I like a really rough texture on my frame to get maximum leverage and friction into that gun. Happy I did this review. There's some things I'm going to change. Maybe we'll come back and reassess some of these guns after we've done some other upgrades to them. See what it takes to make that gun perform at a higher caliber. Right. Just saying, guys, it's kind of a trick question though, because we all know it's the Indian, not the arrow. So thank you guys. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you check out the sponsors. We got Brownells, we got Winchester Armament, we got Gorilla Gunworks Stippling, we got Lux Company Hair Products, we got Modern Material, we got Crate Tactical Targets. I'm a big fan of Apocalypse holsters. Gat Monkey Slings, that's why I was feeling off. There we go. I always forget about Greg. Greg, I'm sorry, dude. Discount codes for all those people, absolutely awesome. Except Apocalypse holsters, maybe we'll get one soon. I don't know. But you guys stay safe, stay trained, stay rad. I'll be back with the next one.